Hello, good evening, everyone. I believe you all are very excited after watching this lovely motivational video and a lot of achievements which USANA has already done. So, friends, I am Dr. Swati Verma Sood, welcoming you from Team Larsen. I am in Pune. And I quickly give my brief introduction. I am a corporate trainer, but firstly, I'm also a naturopathy physician. So being a naturopathy physician, I am doing a lot of health and wellness coaching and connecting with people for a lot of, natural wellness, nutrition, and health and different programs which I do with corporates. And of course, as an individual, I work as a consultant. I possess almost 21 years of total experience. I work with corporate and understand that what are the different challenges people are facing in India because of the lot of change in our lifestyle. And I'm sure I joined USANA with a very good energy, with a very positive thought, because I am working in this field since long. And I believe that after watching all the things USANA has done in last 30 years, I'm very excited to be here. And I believe that everyone who is joined here is very, very excited. I want to see the excitement. Can you all use all the emojis we have over here? That are you excited?
Yes.
Can I see those? Yes. Of course, yeah. So I think emoji is the good option. Even the chat box is the good option. Let's see how excited you all are. Oh, I can see the hearts. People are loving it.
You, thank you.
Great, great. Thank you so much, guys, for showing that excitement. I'm sure that everyone is excited. And friends, I am here with ma'am. So welcome to USANA India webinar, and I'm glad that entire team Larsen Global India is present here today to listen from one of a very pleasant and esteemed personality who has given her 3 decades to establish the USANA as a global nutrition brand, which is already well accepted in 24 countries and now very proudly entered in India on 15th of December 23. So she is none other than founder and CEO of Larsen Glover Alliance Inclusive, executive 10-star diamond director, and our senior most mentor, Collette Larsen. So let's welcome her with a big round of applause. Please show it through the emojis. Ma'am, I
Thank you.
request you to please address us and share your experience and guidance to every one of us here equally wants to grow in the brand and to reach to the optimum level. So idea here today is to listen to you your entire journey, whatever you think that should motivate us, because you are here working with this for 3 decades. I'm sure that you have a lot of good experiences. At the same time, your guidance is very, very important for all of us. So, you have such a good energy, a very positive vibes. So I think that should be passed on to everyone who is present over here. And there are a lot of people who cannot understand English. So what we are doing is, like, any good message you give, you can just give us a little pause in between, and I will translate it in Hindi for them. So I think that will work for everyone. I request everyone to please go on mute, and you can use the chat box for all the messages, either personally to me or Dilip is here. So we will try and help you through the chat box. Uh, please go on mute. Thank you so much. As us, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, ma'am, welcome again. It's over to you, ma'am. Ma'am, I think you're on mute. I'm so sorry. I think someone has done.
There we go. Can you hear me all right?
Yes,
Okay.
you're audible, ma'am.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, I guess it's good evening there. It's very early in the morning here in California in the United States, but I'm so honored to have been invited to be on this Zoom call with all of you. And when you said 3 decades, I still have a little trouble realizing it's been over 30 years now that I've been involved with this company. It's just become, I always say USANA is not something I do, It's who I am. It's just part of who I am after 30 years. I'll pause for a minute.
सो फॉर जो भी लोग हिंदी में समझना चाहते हैं, तो मैम कह रही हैं कि 3 डिकेड्स उन्होंने 30 इयर्स इस कंपनी को दिया है। तो शी इज़ सेइंग कि वो एक उसाना ब्रांड खुद हैं, लाइक यू नो उसाना में 3 डिकेड्स उन्होंने दिए नहीं हैं, वो खुद एक उसाना है एंड शी इज़ नॉट रिप्रेजेंटिंग ओनली, बट वो खुद एक उसाना को अपना पार्ट मानती हैं। सो दैट इज़ व्हाट शी इज़ ट्राइंग टू से ओवर हियर। यस मैम।
Also, I just want to comment on the fact of your experience. Now, you are with corporate, is that right? You're a corporate trainer. This
Yes,
is one of the things I wanted to talk to you all about today, because I saw your, talking about this Zoom call and how to build a USANA business. So I've been doing some thinking about, how does someone, and granted, it's different today than it was back in 94 when I started. So many more tools are available to you that I did not have. But one of the things that when I first started, I knew that I needed to build relationships, that was going to be the primary thing. Now, I don't know if you want me to tell my story or talk to you more about what I would do if I were you in building a business. I would love some direction from you. I'm happy to share my story, but I think a lot of people have already heard that. So I can go either way. Why don't you give me some direction? What would you like to hear from me?
Ma'am, I believe that if any good experience you want to share when you were doing some kind of a networking and anything which from negative converted to positive through your thought process, through your, actions. So you can share that in from your previous journey. And of course, we would love to know, like whatever new tools we are having nowadays, how we can make a best use of those tools. So I think both the things, but maybe we go little keeping the time in mind.
Okay, yes. How long do you want to go? What is your time limit here?
We
What
are planning almost an hour.
little less than an hour. Okay, good. Okay, first of all, because you're here and because you're with corporate, what I want to stress to these new associates and distributors in India is that we never, well, in the beginning, we didn't have very many tools. So we did have to create our tools. But once USANA Corporate started creating tools for us, we felt like USANA Corporate, the home office, we felt like we were partnering with them. I never felt like it was corporate versus the distributors, like you see in so many companies. There's this rub against the corporate officers. We partnered with corporate. We used the tools that USANA Corporate provided for us. Just as we were starting this morning, that beautiful video. I mean, it just took me back to convention. That was from this past August, and I was there, of course. I was in a few of those shots, but it shows you the big picture of what USANA is and the fact that we're now in, is India the 25th country or the 24th? 24th?
25th, as per me, as per my knowledge. Yeah.
I mean, is that amazing? So the fact that you have that kind of credibility is absolutely amazing. So one of my first tips to all of you would be to feel like you are partnering with USANA India, with the corporate office, with the corporate trainers. I always felt like the corporate officers, I don't even like to call them that because they've just become dear friends to me. And I always felt like they wanted to do anything they could possibly do to promote me, to help us in our business. So that would be my first thing. I do feel like when I would sit down and talk, well, I should pause because I forget that you can't understand me. I'll pause for a minute.
ओके, सो मैम ने अभी तक ये बताया कि जब उन्होंने अपनी जर्नी स्टार्ट की थी, उस टाइम पे ऐसे कोई भी टूल्स अवेलेबल नहीं थे जैसे हमारे पास में आज के टाइम पे है। और हम लोग सबकी नॉलेज डिजिटल मार्केटिंग को लेके, सोशल मीडिया को लेके अब काफ़ी अच्छी हो गई है। और हम सबके पास में अपना एक सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफ़ॉर्म है और एक नहीं है, आई थिंक मल्टीपल प्लेटफ़ॉर्म्स हैं। और मल्टीपल प्लेटफ़ॉर्म्स में बहुत सारे लोग हमारे साथ में नेटवर्क करने के लिए आ सकते हैं, कनेक्टेड है, जो उस टाइम पे अवेलेबल नहीं था, वो आज हमारे पास में अवेलेबल है। तो उस चीज़ को हम लोग सही तरीके से अगर यूज़ करेंगे तो मतलब हम बहुत अच्छा कर पाएँगे। दूसरी चीज़ अ, उसाना ने जब कॉर्पोरेट्स के साथ में काम किया तो ऐसा नहीं था कि वो डीलर थे और वो कंपनीज़ थी तो उनके साथ में काम करना है, बट उन्होंने उस कॉर्पोरेट को पार्टनर की तरह काम किया और इसके लिए आज वो लोग यहाँ तक पहुँच गए हैं कि 25th कंट्री तक के अपने ब्रांड को लेके आए और हर एक कंट्री में उन लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा परफ़ॉर्म किया है, लोगों ने ब्रांड को एक्सेप्ट किया है एंड इट्स गोइंग वंडरफुल टिल नाउ। यस मैम।
So when I would sit down with people, this was 30 years ago, and I would first of all create a relationship with them. Now, I know that there are things being done different now because so much of it is on social media. I would actually sit face to face with people. I would make an appointment, go over and talk to them. But you can do what I'm going to suggest either way, because any prospect that you are approaching, they're going to want to evaluate the company. And the beautiful thing about USANA is that we love that. Look as close as you want. There's several things that you're going to want to evaluate. First of all, you're going to want to evaluate the company itself. And there's some questions that I wrote down that I would, and I can send this to you. I can have Dax send this to you if you want to use it as a template. But when I would talk to people, I would say, okay, is the company led by a visionary? And then you can share Dr. Wentz's story, the fact that USANA was founded by this world-renowned scientist. Is it managed by a reputable and skilled management team? Now I'm looking at you, and what I'm hearing about the USANA India management team is so impressive. But you want to know there's a skilled management team there. What did you say? 21 years experience you're bringing to
Yes,
this,
that's right.
and put
That's
your
right.
that's just incredible. And is the company been in is the company been in business, long enough to have a proven track record? Here I am 30 years later. This is not an upstart company where everyone's going, oh, I hope this company makes it. We've been around 30 years. So you have that track record. Does it have a good reputation? I'm sure you're seeing the news, the athletes, the reputation of USANA literally is second to none. And I can say this from a personal experience because I have companies approach me all the time thinking if they can, bring me to their company, because I have such a huge organization. I would never. The track record here with USANA, the reputation of integrity, the fact that I have sponsored people who now make more money than I do. That's pretty rare in our industry. I've sponsored people who've built more centers than I do. There's that integrity there where it's fair for not only people that got in 30 years ago, but it's even more exciting for the people that are getting in today. Okay, I tend to talk too long. I'm sorry. I'll back off for a minute and let you.
ओके सो मैम ने अभी शेयर किया कि उसाना ने जो इतनी लंबी जर्नी पूरी की है ये इसीलिए इतने अच्छे से पूरी हो पाई है या किसी भी कंट्री में मतलब ब्रांड ने स्टार्ट किया तो उसको बंद नहीं किया उसका एक बहुत बड़ा रीजन है कि अगर आप ब्रांड को इवैल्यूएट करेंगे चेक करेंगे तो आप देखेंगे कि ब्रांड के अंदर में सारी चीजें बहुत ट्रांसपेरेंट है दूसरी चीज है वो लोग एथिक्स इंटीग्रिटी को बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर रखते हैं मतलब एक बहुत ही अच्छा वैल्यू सिस्टम है और उस वैल्यू सिस्टम के साथ में कोई भी ब्रांड जब आगे बढ़ती है तो उसका उसके ऊपर जो ट्रस्ट लेवल है किसी का भी वो बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है जैसे मैम के पास में बहुत सारे अच्छे ऑफर आए क्योंकि वो एक ब्रांड को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही थी उसको अच्छे लेवल पे लेके जा रही थी बट उन्होंने ब्रांड को छोड़ा नहीं उसके अलावा उन्होंने बहुत ऐसे लोगों को स्पॉन्सर भी किया बिजनेस में लाने के लिए और वो लोग मैम से भी बहुत अच्छा कर पाए तो शी इज़ वेरी वेरी हैप्पी कि उन्होंने ऐसा किया और काफ़ी लोग उनसे बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं। बट ब्रांड के अंदर जब भी आप किसी से बात करते हैं एज़ अ बिज़नेस सेंटर या एज़ इन बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ अ ब्रांड, तो क्या होता है कि लोग ब्रांड को इवैल्यूएट करते हैं। और इवैल्यूएशन में सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ होती है कि ब्रांड जो है वो कितनी स्ट्रैटेजाइज़ है या उसमें एथिक्स को कैसे फ़ॉलो किया जाता है, ट्रांसपेरेंसी है कि नहीं। तो वो सारी चीज़ें आपको यहाँ पर मिलेंगी। आप मैनेजमेंट से इतने क्लोज़ली मिल पा रहे हैं, ये बहुत कम ब्रांड्स के साथ में होता है। तो आई एम श्योर कि आगे भी जो आप अपनी जर्नी लेके जाएँगे उसमें ये जो कनेक्टिविटी है, वो कनेक्टिविटी ब्रेक नहीं होगी। और ट्रांसपेरेंसी और एथिक्स, ये सारी चीज़ें आपको आप इस ब्रांड के साथ आगे बढ़ने में बहुत ज़्यादा मदद करेंगी। यस मैम।
Okay, a few other things to consider when evaluating the company. Is it on solid financial backing? And, you know, USANA, because it's a publicly traded company, that's another plus. You can look at the financials. But the important thing for me is that every week for over 30 years, every single week, I have been paid. And I used to get paid by check. Now it's a direct deposit, but it's never balanced. You know, I don't know if that translates, but the checks are always good. The deposit is always good. USANA is on very firm financial backing. Also, I mentioned earlier, does it have good support materials? Is it an international company? So that, you know, and part of my story, I won't go into so much today, but I moved with my children. We moved to Australia and we went to New Zealand and we went to Korea. And then we lived in Hong Kong. I traveled across Canada. You know, as USANA began growing international, we just went, why not? Let's go. Let's open markets in these various countries. And it's been the joy of my life to be able to see the diversity, the international markets that have joined USANA. So USANA ticks all those boxes, you know, that founded by a scientist, fabulous management team, solid financial backing. Another point I want to make with my 30 years of experience is that USANA has been able to weather economic ups and downs. You know, we're always going to have these economic ups and downs. You know, we've had a lot of them in the United States. I'm sure you have in India as well. But because we're international, my income has not, you know, it doesn't go down. Yes, because there's so many people involved. So I love that it's on solid financial backing. I love that corporate partners with us as distributors and helps us, just provides the materials we need to do our job. And well, there's just so many things about the company. So I'll back off again for a minute and let you mention those things.
इसके पहले मैं ट्रांसलेट करूं। प्रिंस का मैसेज है कि हिंदी की जरूरत नहीं है, बट प्रिंस आए, ऐसे कुछ लोग हैं यहाँ पर जिनको थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम है और वो समझ नहीं पाएंगे। ये रीजन है कि हम इसको हिंदी में भी ट्रांसलेट कर रहे हैं। सो प्लीज बेयर विद अस। सो मैम ने कहा कि जो एक दूसरा इवैल्यूएशन का पॉइंट जो वो बताना चाहती है, पहला तो एथिक्स और वैल्यू हो गया, बट सेकंड जो पॉइंट है वो है एक सॉलिड यू नो फाइनेंशियल बैकअप जो है कंपनी के पास में। उससे क्या है कि जैसे अभी मैम भी अर्न कर रहे हैं ना, तो एवरीवन इज अर्निंग्स, हर कोई ब्रांड से ही अर्न कर रहा है, लेकिन इतने सालों में आज तक ऐसा नहीं हुआ उनके साथ में कि जब भी उनके पास में चेक आया हो तो कोई भी चेक बाउंस कर गया हो। इसका मतलब है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि बिजनेस में अप और डाउन नहीं होता है, हर बिजनेस में अप डाउन होते हैं, लेकिन उस अप डाउन के साथ में क्योंकि ये एक बिजनेस इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस है, तो अगर किसी कंट्री में थोड़ा डाउन भी होता है तो हमारे पास में कहीं और से एक बैकअप होता है, जिसके कारण फाइनेंस जो है वो उतने ज़्यादा अफ़ेक्ट नहीं होते हैं, और जितने भी लोग इस ब्रांड के साथ में काम कर रहे हैं, उनकी पेमेंट कभी भी रुकती नहीं है, ये आज तक नहीं हुआ है। तो ये एक कह सकते हैं कि ब्रांड का एक ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड है कि हर किसी को अपना पेमेंट टाइमली मिल रहा है। और इसके साथ में ही मैम ने बहुत सारी कंट्रीज़ को विज़िट किया, बिकॉज़ जब इसे इंटरनेशनल बनाने गए तो शी विजिटेड लॉट ऑफ कंट्री, जैसे ऑस्ट्रेलिया हो गया, न्यूजीलैंड हो गया, या यू नो डिफरेंट कंट्रीज वेयर उनको घूमने का भी मौका मिला, साथ ही साथ बिजनेस बढ़ाने का मौका भी मिला। तो दोनों ही चीजें साथ में चली। एंड बहुत प्राउड है कि हमारा जो बैकअप है ब्रांड का, वो फाइनेंशियल बैकअप जो है वो बहुत ही सॉलिड। ओवर टू यू।
Okay. Another thing that people will want to evaluate as you're starting to build your business is the USANA product. Now, I don't know if you understand yet how incredible the USANA products are. I mean, obviously, I've been on them for 30 years and I take them every morning, every night. I've been taking them every day for 30 years. So this is something, you know, as other businesses have approached me about, oh, I don't know, cooking supplies or books or what, I'm going, no, I want to be with a product that is highly consumable. All of the USANA products people use them every month and they need them again. I mean, that is such a huge thing in USANA. The fact that I still have people on auto order from 1994 that are still using the product, that is amazing, including myself. So the product needs to be highly consumable. And the other thing is, it needs to be able to be used by, this isn't just makeup for women, although we have, of course, a fabulous skincare, but it's for men and women. So, you know, this is consumable by men, by women, by teenagers, by children. Do you know, I have a beautiful white lab, my dog. My dog takes USANA products every morning. I have a veterinarian in my organization who has told me what my dog, so it's highly consumable across the board. And that is something that is going to be so key to your ongoing income from USANA. You want, are there scientists involved? You've probably seen the pictures from the USANA convention. We have, I don't even know how many scientists, you might know better than I do, but there are dozens, if not hundreds, of scientists in their white lab coats. This is not something that's being done in someone's garage. The labs, and if you ever have the opportunity to go through the USANA manufactures its own products. So we're not relying on another company. So if you ever have the opportunity to see the manufacturing process, I mean, I'll warn you, you have to put on a hat and gloves and a coat and boots and everything because it's so sterile. But it's so very impressive. Okay, I will stop a minute and let you talk.
Okay, so मैम is saying कि जो थर्ड बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है कि जितने भी प्रोडक्ट्स यहाँ उसाना में बन रहे हैं वो हाईली कंज्यूमेबल है, मतलब हर कोई इसे ले सकता है। इवन मैम का डॉग भी वो लेता है। तो मैम ने जब स्टार्ट किया था 94 से लेकर अभी तक के हर दिन वो इसके जो भी उनके लिए न्यूट्रिशन जरूरी है वो ले रही हैं, उनकी फैमिली में सब लोग ले रहे हैं एंड काफी सारे उनके फ्रेंड सर्कल भी ले रहे हैं। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि हम ब्रांड सिर्फ दूसरों को सेल कर रहे हैं, खुद भी कंज्यूम कर रहे हैं, खुद भी उसके कारण यू कैन सी मैम के अंदर की एनर्जी एंड यू नो द ग्लो ऑन द फेस। तो सो इट्स लाइक यू नो शी इज कंज्यूमिंग एंड ऑफ कोर्स जिसको भी हम रिकमेंड कर रहे हैं बहुत जरूरी है कि हम खुद भी उसे पहले कंज्यूम करें, समझें कि ब्रांड में कितनी पावरफुल है लाइक यू नो इट इज वेरी वेरी इफेक्टिव, रिजल्ट ओरिएंटेड है। और दूसरी चीज कि ये जो भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हो रही है ये ऐसा नहीं है कि हम किसी और को प्रोडक्शन करने के लिए दे रहे हैं, ये सब इन हाउस प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है। तो लाइक इतने सारे जो रिसर्चर्स हैं और लैब्स में एसोसिएट्स होते हैं वो सब इसके ऊपर काम करते हैं और इंटरनली इसके फॉर्मूला पे काम करते हैं, उसके बाद में ये प्रोडक्ट जो है ब्रांड के साथ में लॉन्च किया जाता है। तो सो इट्स वेरी वेरी यू नो डीप एंड वो ये भी कह रहे हैं कि कभी आपको मौका मिले तो आप भी जाके देखिए कि कैसे काम होता है लैब में। सो व्हाट यू मैम?
Okay, a couple of things I want to mention about the product, and I'm assuming it's the same in India. The fact that there is a 100% money back guarantee. I think in 30 years, well, I had one, she's a very successful distributor now. After she decided she didn't want to do this and she wanted her money back. But that's only happened one time to me. And then she came back and wanted to re-sign up. So, but the fact that there is this money back guarantee, the fact that there's an athlete guarantee, the fact that the product is low risk, you're not dealing with something that could be dangerous, and the fact that you can see, that you can feel the difference. Now, as you know, we have to be very careful in making product claims. I used to have to, they always used to say, Collette, you can't say that, you can't say that, because I just wanted to tell everybody what was going on in my life. Now, for me, I had a daughter with cystic fibrosis, which is a terminal lung disease and a digestive order. And her doctors would tell me to put her on the finest nutritional products I could find. Well, of course, I started her on USANA, and that is a whole nother story. It's the story of my life in USANA. And again, I have to be careful about what I say. But what I think I can say without getting in trouble, all these years I've been careful, I can say that if we put products into our body that optimize what our body can do, our bodies have the ability, they're miraculous. They can heal themselves, or they can improve. And I've seen that with my own health. just with when they added the Precosa, for instance, I don't know if you have Precosa yet in India, but my joints, I could feel a difference. Now, maybe someone else wouldn't. Again, I'm being careful, but to be on products that people take and they go, wow, okay, I'm feeling better. I think that's very, very important. So there's a couple more things about the product.
ओके सो मैम अपने कुछ प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंसेस शेयर कर रहे थे जैसे कि ब्रांड को जब भी कंज्यूम उन्होंने किया या इवन उनके सर्कल में भी जिन भी लोगों ने किया मोस्टली ऐसा कोई भी फीडबैक नहीं आया जहां पर लोगों ने बोला हो कि इसका हमें कोई असर नहीं हुआ है मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल सबने बोला कि हाँ हमें फर्क नजर आ रहा है या चीजें चेंज हो रही हैं इवन उनकी डॉटर को भी टर्मिनल लंग डिजीज थी और डॉक्टर ने कहा था कि कोई एक अच्छा न्यूट्रिशन उनको प्रोवाइड किया जाए एंड उस टाइम पर भी मैम ने उसाना पे ट्रस्ट किया एंड उनको रिजल्ट भी मिला उसका तो बेसिकली शी वांट टू से कि जो इसके जितने भी प्रोडक्ट्स हैं जो भी लोग सही तरीके से कंज्यूम करते हैं बिकॉज हमको समझना होगा कि कौन सा प्रोडक्ट हमारे लिए जरूरी है क्या यूजफुल है और हमें उसे कैसे कंज्यूम करना है बिकॉज सबकी प्रॉब्लम्स अलग अलग हो सकती हैं तो एज ए बीइंग अ पार्ट ऑफ द ब्रांड आप लोगों को भी जब भी सजेस्ट करना है तो थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम को समझ के ही आप लोगों को सजेस्ट कीजिए एंड श्योर जैसे ही लोगों को फर्क लगने लगेगा वो इस पे ट्रस्ट करेंगे और वो उसके साथ में आगे जाना चाहेंगे तो हमें उनको वन टाइम सेल नहीं करना है या वन टाइम उनको नहीं बताना है कि बस आप ले लीजिए इसके बाद में वी वांट दैट दे शुड बी विद द ब्रांड इसके लिए राइट इंफॉर्मेशन बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है यस मैम
Okay. The other thing people want to evaluate is how they're going to get paid, is the compensation plan. Now, I will admit that you probably know much more. I'm sure you know much more about the India compensation plan than I do because of the laws in India, it's slightly different. But I can guarantee you this. It is fair. It is equitable. I am certain there is decent income to be made even on a part-time basis. When I first started, I wanted everyone to go gold director and then we'll go ruby and then emerald. But I found out that some of my associates, some of my friends, they really just wanted to make enough to pay for their own product. So you meet people where they are. But the fact that there is, and there was I never pressured anyone. And USANA doesn't front load. Do you know what I mean when I say front load? Does that make sense in India, where they make you pay some companies in order to get involved? You pay thousands of dollars up front. USANA has never, we don't do that. It's very fair. And as I mentioned before, I think maybe the most important thing to know about the compensation plan is that even people like some of you on this call today, this Zoom call, well, you're going to outlive me because I'm 71, but I'm saying like 30 years from now, you'll be making more than I do. You'll be making more than I do. The fact that I can sponsor someone and you can make more than I do is very rare in this industry. And so again, the fairness, the equitable nature of the compensation plan, the fact that there's no front loading, no pressure, the solid financial backing. And again, as I said, every week, I've never had a check bounce. I've never had a deposit. I've never had my bank call and say, oh, that deposit USANA made is no good. They've been 100% above board. Integrity is there. So the compensation plan, and a lot of times people say, well, should I lead with the product or should I lead with the business? That's always a question that you're asked. And I always say, lead with the person. You will know as you communicate with someone, either over email or Zoom or face-to-face, they will tell you, what they're most interested in. They may be more interested in just getting their health back to baseline, or they may say, I've got to start making some money. I need a side hustle. I need somehow to make some money. And a lot of times people will say health because they're embarrassed to say, I need to make money. So many times, like for me, it was both. I needed the products. Originally, I was interested in the health. But as soon as I realized I could pay for my own product And then that happened, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit, and I realized, wow, this is a business. And again, I'm talking too long, but this is a business that someone like me with just a high school education, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I don't have years of formal education. I graduated from high school, and I was a single mother of 5, and yet I was able to see this as a viable opportunity for someone like me. Okay, I'll let you go.
सो मैम बात कर रहे थे कॉम्पेंसेशन के बारे में कि जितने भी कॉम्पेंसेशन प्लान है, ऑफ कोर्स हर कंट्री में थोड़े डिफरेंट कॉम्पेंसेशन प्लान है। इंडिया का भी एक बहुत अच्छा कॉम्पेंसेशन प्लान है, आई एम श्योर आप लोग सबको वो पता होगा। बट जो इसमें बहुत अच्छी बात ये है कि जब हम बिज़नेस करने के लिए जाते हैं उस टाइम पे बहुत सारे लोगों के दिमाग में एक बहुत बड़ा क्वेश्चन होता है व्हिच इज़ वेरी आई थिंक बहुत नॉर्मली वो हमारे सबके दिमाग में होता है कि हमें किसके ऊपर फ़ोकस करना चाहिए। तो मैम भी जब लोगों से बात करती थी वो पूछते थे कि हम प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर फ़ोकस करें या हम बिज़नेस करने के ऊपर फ़ोकस करें, हम करें क्या? बिकॉज़ बिज़नेस भी चाहिए, प्रोडक्ट भी हम सही लोगों को बताएँ, सो दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ द कन्फ्यूजन। तो अभी उसको उन्होंने आंसर किया कि आप लोगों के ऊपर फ़ोकस कीजिए। उनकी ज़रूरत क्या है, उसके ऊपर आप फ़ोकस करेंगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि कौन जो है वो बिज़नेस करने के लिए इंटरेस्टेड है या कौन जो है इसमें पर्सनली प्रोडक्ट को कंज़्यूम करना चाहता है या कौन सिर्फ़ प्रमोट कर सकता है। तो बेसिकली हमें लोगों को समझना है और लोग क्या चाहते हैं, वो क्या कर सकते हैं। आप उसके ऊपर अगर फ़ोकस करेंगे तो आप आपका जो बिज़नेस है वो भी ग्रो करता रहेगा और अच्छे लोग, सही लोग नेटवर्क में भी आते जाएँगे और साथ में सही लोगों को सही प्रोडक्ट मिलेगा क्योंकि अगर उनको हेल्थ इश्यू अगर उनका फ़ोकस हेल्थ है, तो हमें उनको पहले उस इश्यू से बाहर निकालना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है रादर देन हम ये सोचें कि वो बिज़नेस बढ़ाना शुरू कर दें। तो उनकी हेल्थ ही अच्छी नहीं होगी तो बिज़नेस कहाँ से बढ़ाएँगे ना, बहुत सिंपल है। तो वो यही कहना चाह रहे हैं कि अदर देन जो भी चीज़ें हमने बात की इंटीग्रिटी है, बैकअप प्लान है बिज़नेस का, बट उसके साथ में बहुत ही अच्छा थॉट है कि हमें लोगों के ऊपर ध्यान देना चाहिए रादर देन जस्ट एडिंग देम फॉर द बिज़नेस। यस मैम।
Okay, so another thing that people will evaluate is the team that they're joining. And I want to say, first of all, how honored I am that you're calling this USANA Larsen Global India, because Larsen is my name. And so
Yes.
it means a lot to me that I hope that brings you some credibility. My sons and I, Dax and Zachary, I think Dax is on the call this morning. We have attempted to build our teams around the world. We consider it all one big global family, but we have attempted to build with absolute integrity, honesty. We keep our word. We don't pressure people. We're there to support when needed. And I believe that you will attract people with your values. And I believe that we've done that. We've, oh my goodness, all over the world, we've attracted people that we have really grown to love. And I feel like there's mutual support. Now, having said that, I do think teams are important, but I also, from the very beginning, been a big proponent of cross-line support. Like, for instance, when I was doing a meeting, I would never not allow someone to come into my meeting who was with another team, and I would never, if they were coming to hear me for the first time, I would never attempt to sponsor them if I knew they were sent by someone else. That just became a rule for us. Like I would say, how did you hear about this meeting? How did you come? And so maybe it was Jeremy Stansfield who had a single mother. And by the way, Jeremy is another, I don't know if you know his name, is a very prominent leader in USANA, but we're cross-line from each other. We always feel like we're kind of brothers and sisters, but sometimes he would send someone to hear me because it might have been a single mother that would relate more to me. But I would always say, let me help you. Now, Jeremy will be your sponsor. I mean, I was kind of like, dang it. But that's the way we do it. We support each other. We support cross-line. We attract people with similar values. In your team, there should always be opportunity for growth within the team, for recognition within the team. another little personal story. When I first started, I thought, okay, I'm the leader here, you know. And as people started joining my team that had more experience in the industry, I remember Dr. Christine Wood. She was a pediatric doctor, and she joined my team. And very soon I began realizing, wow, the people that are joining my team are way more intelligent than I am, have way more experience than I do. And so I stepped back. I thought, I don't need to be the leader. This needs to be a team, and we all bring our individual strengths and talents, and so that the entire team, you know, prospers. So from then on, I quit doing the meetings just by myself. I would ask guests to join me, and as they did, then they would grow. So consider this in building this team. Build it with honesty, with integrity.
Yeah, please take care of mics, please, everyone. Thank
There
you.
you go. Celebrate each other's successes. I think as team leaders, we have the opportunity to create these powerful moments in our team members' lives. Another example, like when a team member under me in San Diego, I was building in San Diego, California. When they would hit goal director, I would call them up and say, I want to take you to lunch. You pick your favorite restaurant and I'm treating, and we're going to sit down for a couple of hours. I did that for years until my organization grew beyond San Diego. But I know it meant so much to them to have that acknowledgement, and then I would learn from them. So you get what I'm saying. To build this, I would always say, you know, USANA is more than a business for me. It really is a family, and I would call it my USANA family. Do you know, even on my car, my license plate says USANA Mama. So I just think of it as a USANA family.
ओके सो मैम ने अभी बहुत ही अच्छी बात शेयर की कि उसाना जो है मतलब उनके लिए एक फैमिली है। उन्होंने अपना जो स्टडी जो भी किया उसके बाद में उन्होंने ब्रांड को जॉइन किया और लाइक यू नो एज ए लीडर स्टार्ट किया। बट उसके बाद में बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग उनकी लाइफ में आए जो उनकी टीम में आए, जिसमें कुछ डॉक्टर्स भी थे और कुछ और दूसरे प्रोफेशन के लोग भी थे। जिनसे बात करने के बाद में उनको रियलाइज़ हुआ कि शायद उनसे ज़्यादा उन लोगों को नॉलेज है इस पर्टिकुलर चीज़ के बारे में। दैट्स व्हेयर उन्होंने सोचा कि ऐसा ज़रूरी नहीं है कि यू नो मैं ही हमेशा मीटिंग लूँ। हो सकता है कि किसी और को थोड़ा ज़्यादा पता है तो व्हाई नॉट उनको भी चांस दिया जाए और एक फैमिली की तरह इसमें हम लोग काम करें। तो उस चीज़ को लेके उन्होंने और उनके बेटे ने दोनों ने मिलके इसको आगे बढ़ाया है। और उनकी जो लाइक ही वाज़ टेलिंग कि लाइसेंस प्लेट के ऊपर उसाना मामा करके उनका नाम लिखा हुआ है। इट मीन्स कि यू नो लाइक शी टेकिंग केयर ऑफ एवरीवन। तो एज़ अ मामा शी इज़ टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द एंटायर थिंग। बट जो हम लोगों को भी समझना है एज़ अ यू नो व्हेन हम लोग भी यहाँ बिज़नेस करने के लिए आए हैं, तो हमें भी ये समझना होगा कि ये ज़रूरी नहीं है कि हमारी क्रॉस लाइन में कोई और है तो वो हमारे साथ में मीटिंग नहीं कर सकता है या वो हमारे साथ में आ नहीं सकता है। हमें सबको एज़ अ फैमिली ही एक-दूसरे के साथ में काम करना होगा, एक-दूसरे को सही सजेशंस देने होंगे बिकॉज़ अल्टीमेटली ये हमारा ब्रांड है। तो अगर हम कुछ भी गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन देते हैं, जो कंपनी कमिट नहीं करती है, ऐसा कुछ बोल देते हैं मार्केट में, तो इसका इफ़ेक्ट हम सबको होने वाला है, राइट? तो इस चीज़ को हमें हमेशा ध्यान देना है कि वी ऑल आर वन। भले ही हम लोग अलग-अलग टीम में या क्रॉस में हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं, उससे कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता कि ब्रांड एक ही है एंड वी ऑल आर रिप्रेजेंटिंग दैट। सो लॉट ऑफ गुड स्टोरीज़ जो मैम ने शेयर की हैं अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ से कि कैसे उन्होंने उनके फ्रेंड सर्कल में या उनकी फैमिली के साथ में मिला लाइक यू नो व्हेन दे डिस्कस तो वो लोग जो भी डिस्कस करते हैं, वो शेयर करते हैं और फिर उसको इम्प्लीमेंट भी करते हैं। सो दैट्स हाउ द जर्नी इज़ गोइंग विथ ऑल यू नो टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द वैल्यू सिस्टम और एक-दूसरे के साथ में मिलके काम करना और फैमिली की तरह काम करना। यस मैम।
Okay, so finally, what you need to evaluate is you. So I'm going to share, and I've shared this story with Cheyenne, and Dilip, I think, was on this call once when I was sharing this story. But when I first started in USANA, as I mentioned, I was a single mother. I was absolutely financially devastated. I was on the verge of bankruptcy. I had 5 children, 2 of them had terminal diseases. I was dealing with that. I was living at the hospital. I had no formal education. I had no references, no business experience. I mean, the deck was stacked against me, if you know what I mean. It was like, how am I going to do this? But my brother kept telling me about this amazing scientist, and he kept saying, Collette, you can do this. You love people. When you try something that you love, you tell everyone about it. You know, you are a natural networker, because I do that. You know, if I find a salon or a restaurant, I tell everyone about it. Of course, they don't pay me. And he said, USANA will pay you. If you love the product, they will pay you to tell people about it. Well, I was still very, I was just nervous. I just felt like I didn't have the experience or the expertise. So I knew that in this industry, that if you could send your friends to listen to a presentation, then maybe, you know, they would sign up, and I would hopefully make enough to pay for my own product, because I couldn't afford to buy product for my daughter. So I knew I needed to make $100 a month. That was my first goal. I thought, if I can make $100 a month, I'll be so thrilled. So I called USANA corporate, and I said, this is Collette Larsen, and I am calling. She said, how can I help you? And I said, I need to know where meetings are taking places, USANA meetings. Are there any meetings in San Diego or the surrounding area? I need to be able to send my friends, because I thought, I can't go. I've got all these kids, but I could send my friends to a meeting, my girlfriends. And so she said, well, let me do a little research, and I will get back to you. So the next day I got a phone call, and when I answered, I said, hello. And she said, is this Collette Larsen? And I said, yes, it is. And she said, you're the one who called about who the leaders are in San Diego? And I said, yes. And I was so excited. And she said, you're it. And I went, what? No, I'm not a leader. I can't be it. I don't have any, I graduated from high school. I don't even have any college experience. But she laid that mantle of leadership on my shoulders and said, we don't have any leaders there. You're it. And I share that story because you are exactly, all of you on this call are exactly where I was back in 1994. It is brand new. Think of the opportunity you have in India, this economy. I listen to podcasts all day. I'm a podcast junkie. Okay. Everyone I listen to talks about India and this economy that is just, I'm going, wow, talk about timing. So your opportunity, when I say to you, you are it. Because now when I go to do a meeting in San Diego and there are thousands of people there, I look out there and I go, that started in my living room with two girlfriends that first signed up in 1994. And now and not just San Diego, everywhere I go around the world, there are those two people have turned into thousands and thousands and thousands of distributors. So I will say the same thing to you. And I did suffer from, do you know what imposter syndrome means? Does that make any sense to you? I felt like, how is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. I'm just a girl from a little farming community, a single mom with all these kids. And yet all these people are like in my organization. And it was hard for me to accept at first, but I'm telling you, you're it. If it can happen to someone like me, a single mother without any experience. I mean, I did go to the library. I read up on network marketing. I educated myself. I partnered with corporate and I used the sales tools as they were developing them. And just step by step, I kind of moved into this leadership role. So that is my message to you today. If you were to call USANA corporate and say, I need a leader, I hope they would say to you, you are it. Because the opportunity for you is, and take it from someone who's been there. I mean, a lot of people, teach and preach, but they haven't done it. I've done it. I've been in the trenches, and I'm telling you, if a woman like me, who I was almost, I was hundreds of thousands of dollars in medical debt because of my youngest daughter's double lung transplant. I won't even go down that road. It's such a long story, but I owed so much money. I was on the verge of bankruptcy. I had, like I said, a high school education, no business experience, no references, no money to put into my business. I mean, in the beginning, I bought a couple cassette tapes. This is what we had, cassette tapes. And I would loan them to people and say, I need to get it back because I couldn't afford the dollar to buy another one. So I would loan them out. I mean, I built this on a shoestring, but well, it's a miracle what has happened. Okay, sorry, I'm getting so emotional and passionate again. Go ahead.
Understand, but like I'm proud of you. I think everyone who understood, they all are proud of you. So let me translate it.
Thank you.
मैम ने अभी अपनी खुद की पर्सनल लाइफ की स्टोरी शेयर की कि कैसे उन्होंने ये जर्नी स्टार्ट की थी। जब उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया था, वो एक हाई स्कूल ग्रेजुएट थे, उन्होंने कॉलेज भी नहीं किया हुआ था और उस टाइम पे उनके पास में एक तरीके से बैंकरप्सी थी, पैसों की बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम थी और उसके साथ-साथ में उनके पास में एक फॉर्मल एजुकेशन भी नहीं थी, तो वो भी एक उनके लिए बहुत बड़ी ट्रबल थी। उनके 5 बच्चे हैं, 5 बच्चे हैं, तो 5 में से 2 लोगों को टर्मिनल डिज़ीज़ भी थी, तो वो भी एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज था उनके पास में और वो एक सिंगल मदर हैं। तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि एक सिंगल मदर और जिनके 5 बच्चे हैं, उसमें से 2 लोगों को हेल्थ इश्यूज़ हैं, तो उन उस टाइम पे उनके लिए कितना बड़ा एक चैलेंज रहा होगा। और उसके साथ में उनके ब्रदर ने उनको सजेस्ट किया कि ये एक एक रिसर्चर है, उनके पास में अपनी एक ब्रांड है और आप उसके ऊपर क्यों काम नहीं करते हैं कि मतलब आप अच्छा करेंगे। एंड उन्होंने बोला कि मैंने इतना पढ़ाई भी नहीं किया है, मैं कैसे करूँगी? उन्होंने बोला आप कोशिश करो, स्टार्ट करो। तो स्टार्ट करने के टाइम पे उनके पास में उतना पैसा नहीं था कि वो प्रोडक्ट खरीद सकें। तो उनका शुरू में जो एम था कि वो $100 कमा सकें। तो मतलब पूरे महीने में $100 उनको कमाने का उनका एम था, तो ऐसे उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया। तो जब भी उनको कोई भी मिलता था, वो उसको उसके बारे में बताया करती थी। फिर उन्होंने कॉल किया उसाना के कॉर्पोरेट ऑफ़िस में और वहाँ पे पता किया कि भई वहाँ पे लीडर्स कौन-कौन से हैं। कुछ टाइम बाद में उनके पास में कॉल आया, उन्होंने बोला कि आपका कॉल आया था कि लीडर्स कौन-कौन से हैं? तो उन्होंने बताया कि आप ही लीडर हो, राइट? सो दैट्स हाउ बोले कि मैं लीडर हूँ मतलब मुझे तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है। बट उन्होंने वहाँ से इतने बेसिक स्टेज से जब वो खुद बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रगल कर रही थी, वहाँ से इस जर्नी को स्टार्ट किया और इसको आगे लेके गई। उनके बच्चे भी इसमें मतलब उनका सन जो है वो भी मैम के साथ में इन्वॉल्व हुए एंड यहाँ तक की जो जर्नी है जिसमें उन्होंने वैल्यूज़ क्रिएट किए, इंटीग्रिटी क्रिएट की, एक टॉप लीडर बनी और 30 इयर्स के से उस ब्रांड के साथ में अभी तक काम कर रही हैं, तो ये एक बहुत ही बड़ा अचीवमेंट है आई थिंक। हम सबको प्राउड है और हमें सबको क्लैप करके बताना चाहिए कि मैम आपकी स्टोरी बहुत ही इंस्पायरिंग है और बहुत सारे मैसेजेस आप लोग लिख भी रहे हैं बट आई रिक्वेस्ट जितने भी लोग हैं आई थिंक जस्ट बाय शोइंग थ्रू इमोजीज आप लोग मैम को कन्वे कर सकते हैं कि वी ऑल आर प्राउड ऑफ यू मैम। ओवर टू यू मैम।
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I heard you say you're proud of me. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Honestly, I'm kind of proud of myself. But I also want to point out that one of the smartest things I realized early on is that I I figured out the difference between building, well, I wanted to build a legacy. I wanted to do more than just earn income. I wanted to build a life for me and my children. One of the smartest things I did was back in the early days. I mean, my children were teenagers when I started, and of course that was 30 years ago. Now they're they're in their late 40s and turning 50, which is crazy to me. But I involved them. So those of you that have partners, have family, have children, involve them in what you're doing. Realize that you're doing more than earning a living. You are building a life. And to build this life together and to get your family involved, make promises to your children. Like, when I go gold director, we'll do this. I mean, there's nothing like making a promise to a child because they will hold your feet to the fire, like my children did. I think Dax is on here. Dax, are you on? I don't know if he's on the call. He might have had to leave because he's getting his son back to university today. But, I'll never forget Dax. This was back in, I think, 1990, something like that. And USANA had just announced that they were going to open up Australia. And I had my children with me. We were staying at the Marriott Hotel in Salt Lake City for convention. And I came back to the room and my kids were doing what kids do. They were all wrestling and playing with each other and throwing pillows and everything. And Dax said, there he is. Dax,
Yeah.
this is my baby boy right here.
Good evening. Good evening, Dax.
So Dax looked at me and he said, Mom, we should just pick up and go to Australia. He'd graduated from high school. Actually, my youngest, Charlie, they were just out of high school at that point. And I looked at him and I just had this magical moment of possibility. We create our own reality, don't we? And I looked at Dax and said, why not? Let's just do it. So I picked up my children. We moved to Australia and we lived there for a year and helped build the USANA helped open the market in Australia. And then of course we branched out from there. But the ability to work, get emotional, but
I understand, ma'am.
the opportunity to work with my sons, my daughters, to see the impact that USANA has had on our entire family. Now I have 20 grandchildren, 20 grandchildren.
Wow.
But they are just they just are going for it. I don't even know how to explain it. They've set their goals. Their vision is so broad and so expansive and so wonderful. I feel like this whole experience, this journey has trickled down through my children and now to their children. And I'm not taking anything away of the fact that they're wonderful parents, but the fact that all these kids have these huge dreams of what they want to accomplish. I think it starts with going, wow, you're it. You're it. Maybe you could do this. So I would encourage all of you to involve your children, your grandchildren, your brothers and sisters. Some of my first associates were my brothers and sisters. And, none of them went on to build huge USANA businesses, but they're all on the product and they all make enough money to pay for their product. So, build a legacy. At some point in my USANA journey, I went, wow, this is way more than my job. I am building a legacy. And the fact that it's residual, this is something that will continue to bless the lives of my children, my grandchildren, and their children. You're just on the tip of this spear that's going to be so amazing as you build this throughout India. Anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge Dax, my son. I could not have done what I've done. I always say to Dax and Zachary, they do all the work. I get all the glory. But they first worked for free. They just helped Mom. They would go to meetings, set up chairs, all that kind of thing. And then I started paying them a minimum hourly wage and then a little more. And eventually I went, you know what? They deserve to be my partners. So they are my full partners at this point.
Awesome. Awesome. So first of all, welcome, Dax. Thank you so much for being here. I think after some time, I would like to hear from you also a few things. But let me first translate. So मैम ने अभी और भी बहुत ही अच्छी चीज शेयर की कि हम लोग ये सोच के किसी भी बिजनेस को स्टार्ट ना करें कि हमें सिर्फ बिजनेस करना है। जो मैम ने क्रिएट किया वो है एक लेगेसी मतलब अपनी पूरी फैमिली को उन्होंने इस बिजनेस में लेके आया और उसकी बताया कि बहुत स्ट्रगलिंग थी। शुरू में फंड्स नहीं थे और कैसे उन्होंने स्टार्ट किया। बट उसके साथ-साथ में जैसे ही वो ग्रो करने लगे, उनके इवन बच्चे जो थे उन लोगों ने काफ़ी उनको हेल्प की जिसमें डेक्स को आप देख ही रहे हैं। सो डेक्स है यहाँ पर उन्होंने काफ़ी उनको सपोर्ट किया और उन्होंने डिसाइड किया कि हम लोग अब दूसरी कंट्री में कैसे बिज़नेस को डेवलप करेंगे, तो ऐसे ही उन्होंने ऑस्ट्रेलिया गए सभी बच्चों को लेके वहाँ जाके वो सेटल हुए, 1 साल वहाँ रहे, वहाँ पर उन्होंने बिज़नेस को सेट किया एंड इसी तरीके से अलग-अलग देशों में बिज़नेस को लेके जाके वहाँ पर ब्रांड को सेटअप किया एंड उनके बच्चों का पूरा सपोर्ट उनको मिला। इसके लिए आज उनकी टीम में उनके सभी बच्चे आई थिंक 4 ऑल चिल्ड्रन्स आर देयर तो वो सब उनके साथ में उनकी टीम में है, उनके साथ में काम कर रहे हैं, उनके लिए एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट है। एंड थोड़ा मैम इमोशनल भी हो गए थे ये बोलते हुए क्योंकि जब हम अपनी जर्नी के बारे में सोचते हैं कि कैसे हम यहाँ तक पहुँचे, तो आई थिंक ये पार्ट जो है ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट है कि हम सिर्फ बिज़नेस करने के लिए किसी भी ब्रांड के साथ ना जुड़ें। अब ये बहुत ही एस्टेब्लिश्ड है, ट्रस्टवर्दी ब्रांड है, तो नाउ क्यों नहीं कि हम लोग इसको एक लेगेसी बनाएँ। इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग बने कि इसके साथ-साथ में हम अपने बच्चों को भी इसमें अपनी फैमिली को भी इसमें साथ में लेके आ सकें, उन अपनी नीड्स भी फुलफिल करें और आगे जाके उनकी भी सारी विशेज़ जो हैं, सारी नीड्स जो हैं, उन्हें हम फुलफिल कर सकें। Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. It looks like our time is almost up, and I feel like I've just barely touched on the things that I could say, but what I will say is thank you so much for inviting us to be here today. I would like you to hear more from Dax at some point. It'd be interesting from his perspective, watching his crazy mom do her crazy thing, and then eventually I talked him into joining me, but I do hope all the best. I'm so excited for all of you. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am for this new market. I do believe it will be our largest market, USANA's largest market. And I'm just honored to be a part of it, and honored that you would call yourselves Larsen Global India. That just does my heart so much good. I could have never imagined 30 years ago that we would have a team in India. I mean, it just boggles my mind, but I'm so grateful to all of you. I want to assure you that you are it, and that you are capable, and that you're capable of building a legacy that will bless your life and the lives of your family members for decades to come. So thank you so much for inviting us on today. And, Dax communicates with our team members here, our team leaders, if there's things that we can do to help you. I've put together this list of how to evaluate an opportunity. If it would be helpful to you, I'll send it on to Dax and he can forward it. It would need to be translated, but it might give you kind of a template for when you're approaching people that you know, like to say, here we are, we're an open book. Take a look, evaluate our evaluate our visionary, our leader, evaluate our company, evaluate our products, evaluate our compensation plan, evaluate our team and what we can bring. We will celebrate you. We're with you. We will elevate and celebrate you. And then, of course, the final piece to that is evaluate yourself. Is this something that feels right to you? Do our values align? Would you like to be part of this? Because you know what? This train is leaving the station, baby, and we'd love to have you on board.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's a lovely message, ma'am. So now we all are your extended family in India, and would love to see you in person as well as soon as you are here, whenever you visit, and you're with your entire family. Would love to be there to welcome you over here. Thank you for such a lovely message. A quick reckoner will be definitely very helpful. We will translate it in Hindi for everyone. We will give it in both the languages to everyone who is working over here. So that's gonna be very, very amazing help for all of us. And everything what you shared is actually very, very inspiring. I'm sure you are seeing a lot of chat messages is coming that people are very motivated now after listening to your story. But before we close, I believe Dax is here and we would love to hear from him as well, his perspective and how he, worked with a crazy mom like you, as you mentioned. So over to you, Dax.
Oh, you're muted, Dax.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I mean, it was probably, it has been one of the best decisions of my life to join with my mom and to join USANA. It's been an amazing journey. And to attach, not just to a great company, Collette, my mom, has talked a lot about USANA as a company, but to attach yourself to a great leader and to great people that believe in you, many times, more than you believe in yourself. And so that's what, I mean, and there's leaders like that all through USANA, but of course I'm partial to the Larsen Global leader, my mom. And just to know that that we believe in India, we believe in you as leaders, and it's about developing leaders and bringing people up, helping people. to become, I mean, you heard it from Collette, but to become more successful than you. It's not about us. It's about bringing people up to become more successful than we are. And so that's our goal for USANA India and for the people that we have talked to in India. And we're very excited for you guys, for all of you.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think जो डेक्स कह रहे हैं और इवन कॉलेज जो मेंशन कर रही थी कि ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि हमने एक यूएस लीडर्स के ऊपर बिलीव किया है, तो ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि वो हमसे ज्यादा ही कमाएंगे। ऐसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो उनसे भी ज्यादा अर्न कर रहे हैं एंड दे आर वेरी हैप्पी टू बी देयर, और उनको सपोर्ट करने के लिए वो हमेशा रहे हैं और रहेंगे। So that's how this brand is, and I'm sure everyone is now very excited, and maybe in future we will again connect and would love to hear more, more of your stories, more of knowledge sharing and whatever you can share, so that we all will grow. But such motivations time to time are very much required from both of you, and of course all the leaders who are working with you. They all can help us grow. India, of course, is a ocean, and we all can do such a wonderful things over here with a lot of motivation coming from your side. So thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out this 1 hour from your busy schedule, and Dex for just a very brief note but very, very powerful message what you have shared with us. I'm grateful, and I'm sure like we will connect soon again. And I'm thankful to everyone who joined and and taken out this late evening time and hour today to be here. And I think we will see a wonderful growth now in this week with this youth motivation right from Monday tomorrow.
Right. That sounds perfect.